Roll call.
Councilmember Vega,
Here.
Councilmember Starbuck,
Present.
Councilmember Bridge,
Present.
Councilmember Ball,
Present.
Mayor Mosby.
Present. City Attorney, report on action from closed session. Are you on?
Thank you, Mayor. The City Council met in closed session to discuss the 3 items on the agenda. Council gave direction to staff on all 3 of those items, but there was no reportable action taken.
Okay. Do we have somebody here for our invocation? No? All right, let's step up to the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Presentations. Fire Chief Brian Fallon. Come on down.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor, members of council. Can I call up Engineer Colby Baldwin and our animal control, Candace Blocker? And I'm not sure if anyone from Lompoc Veterinary showed up by chance? Okay, well, we'll recognize them. Oh. Oh. Bummer. Sorry, there we go. Okay. Well, I wanted to, and we wanted to kick off 2025 with a little bit of a feel-good story for some actions that our firefighters, animal control, and our local Lompoc veterinary all work collaboratively to help bring together. And so I'll read you a little something, and I'd love to present some awards to our folks here. So on December 12th, Lompoc City Fire Crews undertook UTV training at the local river bottom. During the training, the crews observed 4 small puppies, less than 12 weeks old, caged and exposed to elements. The puppies were cold, malnourished, and likely unable to survive the coldness of winter without proper shelter and feeding. So our crews, led by Engineer Colby Baldwin and firefighter Nick Cannon, who would have been here, but they were dispatched to the Palisades fire just a couple of hours ago. They were able to contact the individual in possession of the dogs and negotiate the release of the puppies. Engineer Baldwin was also able to contact animal control and advise them of the situation. The next morning on the 13th, Engineer Baldwin and firefighter Cannon returned to the river bottom with animal control and took possession of all 4 of the puppies. The dogs were then taken to Lompoc Veterinary Clinic for evaluation, and the clinic, who I'm sorry they're not here, we wish they were, was gracious in its medical assessment and housing of the puppies for free while we were searching for homes. So this was a group effort and an exercise in compassion displayed by our firefighters, animal control, and our veterinary clinic. And while our firefighters are tasked with displaying care and compassion for all people, that day we think that our crews went above and beyond displaying empathy and compassion for all life. I'm truly proud to serve alongside these firefighters and animal control. I'm equally proud of our local veterinary clinic for the kindness and compassion they've all shown, and I'd like to report that all 4 dogs have been rehomed and doing excellent. And you could just flip through those if you can. So it was two boys and 2 girls, and those 2 right there ended up with the fire chief. Spoiled rotten. So we'd like to give Colby Baldwin a certificate of compassion for his efforts that day, as well as Ms. Candace Blocker. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, guys. City Manager, you're up.
Thank you, Mayor. Okay, give it a second here. I like this story, by the way. Go ahead, next slide. Just want to let everybody know the Beautification and Appearance Commission announced the 2024 Holiday Lights Decoration Contest winners. We had 31 residents that submitted nominations and 3 for business. So I want to thank them for their efforts and their participation. The City of Lompoc's 2025 Conservation Wall Calendars featuring artwork by the Lompoc Valley Middle School students is now available for free. You can get them here at the City Hall, the library, or Parks and Rec. I want to thank the Lompoc Middle School teacher Peggy Andrews for her talented students and submitting their graphics arts and making this come to fruition. This is something I just wanted to show what we're doing with some of the 4K to 12 kV poles. We're using them as the borders around the drought tolerant at wastewater gardens. So I thought that was a good use of resources, and I want to commend staff for their efforts there. Holiday trees, we will be recycling collections had begun this Monday and will continue to the 10th. Trees will need to be at their normal spot there, 3 feet next to your trash cans at 7 a.m. If you miss it, you can still take them to the landfill for free and get rid of them. If you have any questions, 875-8024. We are going to extend the maintenance for the Lompoc Aquatic Center. We were scheduled to be done for the 6th, and it'll extend out to the 13th. And I want to let everybody know that January 9th is National Day of Mourning. President Biden issued a executive order recognizing Thursday the 9th as a National Day of Mourning for President Carter, our 38th president. The City Hall will be closed, the library will be closed, and rec programs will be closed. However, solid waste will still be doing their routes, picking up trash. So you won't have delays there. You can, if you need to pay your utility bills, you can do it online or drop it in the box and we'll pick it up on the 10th. We'll still have critical operations functions continuing for police, fire, electric, water, wastewater, and again, trash. But now if I could, I want to turn it over to Christy Donnelly to go over some of our dates for a budget workshop.
Good evening. Just want to make sure that everyone can hear me okay. The new mic, thank you. What I have up on the screen and in front of you, you each should have a handout. There was handouts in the lobby as well. And this is what we are proposing for our budget workshops for the 2025 budget process. This is for the 25-27 budget cycle. And we would like to propose having these workshops on the Tuesdays that we do not currently have council meetings, and starting at 5 p.m. We would have on Tuesday, February 11th, a kickoff meeting where we would talk about the city council budget goals. And then once we have our marching orders, staff will go and put together a proposed, the budget and work on that during the month of March and into April, and bring back in April 22nd the capital improvement plan and presentations on those. And then on Tuesday the 29th, April 29th, we would bring forth the operating budget. And then we have 3 other dates that we are holding as possibilities if we have further discussion needed. The plan then would be to present a draft budget book on June 3rd with the potential of being able to adopt the budget on that date. And if we had additional discussion or changes or edits that needed to be done, we would then bring back at the regular council meeting on June 17th the final budget for adoption. We just wanted to present these to council and have everybody mark their calendars. And that's all I have.
That it?
Wait, just wanted to, are those dates going to work for everybody?
We just want to make sure that
Times?
that those dates are, and so when we were looking at the council calendar, if you can look at these as well, and then let us know if there's any dates that, if we aren't going to be able to have a quorum, then we will look at changing those dates.
Everybody on council got that? And it's still early, so I think you got first in line for everything, so that'd be good. So adjust your calendar around, right?
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you.
It's
Thank
always
you.
good to get first in line. Let's see. So maybe we can announce about item number 10? Does this be a good time? City Attorney.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Yes, thank you, Mayor. Item number 10 tonight is a general plan and zoning amendments item that staff is going to be requesting be continued to the next city council meeting on January 21st. So that's just as a notice to the public that there's change to this agenda. And when we get to item number 10, the council, I will request that you actually vote to continue it to the next meeting.
Thank you. Just in case anybody was here for that. Everybody left already. All right, so public comment on consent calendar. 3 minutes for that. Anybody on the consent calendar? You guys got a phone over there? All right, thumbs up. All right, I'm going to do something a little different, though. If the city clerk would just read we have 5 items on consent calendar for those on a radio or otherwise. Maybe you could read those in so people can see what we're doing here.
On the consent calendar, there's approval of minutes for number 1. Number 2, adoption of ordinance number 1713, parentheses 25, amending the city's architectural review guidelines, including providing objective design guidelines and standards for compliance with state's provisions regarding eligible residential and mixed-use developments. Number 3, adoption of ordinance number 1714, parentheses 25, amending section 3.36.025 of the Lompoc Municipal Code to allow electronic submission of bids for public projects. Number 4, approval of the 2025 calendar for city council meetings. Number 5 is the successor agency, adoption of resolution number SA 13, parentheses 25, approving the administrative budget, and adoption of resolution number SA 14, parentheses 25, approving the recognized obligation payment schedule for July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2026.
Okay, thank you very much. So we're looking for motion to approve.
I tried. There we go.
We're gonna, you calling out the first and the second?
Yes, I'll make a motion, and looks like you're going to second.
It's on there.
Yeah, I think you got the motion. Okay, first by Councilmember Ball and second by Councilmember Starbuck. You got it. All right, let's go ahead and vote. Yay! 5-0 unanimous. Imagine that. All right, staff presentation announcements, requests? Nothing? Nothing, okay. Oral communication, 3 minutes. Come on down.
There you go.
Good evening, dear Mayor Mosby and council members. I'm Kate Griffith, a Lompoc resident and business owner. On the day of our city council transition, December 17th, 2024, the Santa Barbara County Vintners Association, also known as Santa Barbara Vintners, sent an email to outgoing Mayor Janelle Osborne and council member Jeremy Ball with a legal inquiry on city resolution number 6376, paren 20. City Manager Dean Albro was copied on the email. The Santa Barbara Vintners are challenging the validity of our city's resolution. The city's resolution opposing inclusion of Lompoc in Santa Barbara County Wine Preserve Business Improvement District was approved by a unanimous vote of our entire city council, including James Mosby, Victor Vega, and Dirk Starbuck on November 20th, 2020. The resolution was written without a termination date to continue into perpetuity. With the Vintners' research revealing that a large percentage of Santa Barbara County wine sales are located in Lompoc, they seek to force our participation. Has the City of Lompoc Legal Counsel had a chance to opine on the Vintners' legal inquiry of the resolution's validity? If so, where does the city's legal counsel stand? If necessary, I request that our city council update the resolution to include the proposed 2024-2025 Vintners wine bid. Council members Bridge and Ball own a winery and work for the wine industry respectively, so they will surely recuse themselves from a vote on the wine bid. The three remaining council members, Mosby, Vega, and Starbuck, have already voted in favor of the resolution. The Vintners wine bid will be a taxing burden for your constituents, as it will add 1% to the purchase of all wine and other products in Lompoc Tasting Room, effectively raising our tax to 9.75%. The wine bid is also unfair to our boutique wineries, which comprises most of Lompoc's wine industry. The additional 1% will not come back to the coffers of the Lompoc residents, nor benefit our local small winery businesses. The wine bid significantly differs from our tourism bid. Residents don't stay in our local hotels, and it's managed by Explore Lompoc. Lompoc residents do purchase wine, and wine bid proceeds will not be managed locally. It will be managed by the Santa Barbara Vintners. With over 75 wineries located within our city limits, the Lompoc Chamber has only 5 members, so it is not an appropriate local wine bid management option. Lompoc deserves to be the only city in Santa Barbara County without a wine tax. We will attract business on that promotional message alone. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Anybody else? No? Okay. And we'll close those oral communications. Move on to appointments. You guys are all excited about appointments? Yeah? Okay. All right. Okay. Mayor Pro Tem, calendar year 2025. Which one?
I'm trying to get your attention. Did it show up?
No. You're right here. I got you. What would you like?
Well, how do I do it later? Anyhow.
Start pushing some buttons.
Could I suggest that we move item 8 to follow after item 12, council appointments to city boards, commissions, and committees until we're done talking about revisions on commissions, committee, and et cetera? We can do item 8 after item 12, so we can make the appointments in accordance with what we
There's
decide.
logic to that. City attorney, want to explain the process for us?
Yes, you can do that, and I think that does make sense, because it doesn't make sense to appoint people if you're going to make changes later. So that would just require 4 out of 5 council members to vote to move that item to later in the agenda.
So do you want to
One.
make that as a motion?
I'll be number 1.
You want a second on that motion? All right. You got to push your buttons. Has Starbuck got it first? Who seconded the motion?
Bridge with a second. All right, let's go ahead and vote on that one. You have to cut your fingernails. All right, we got a 5-0 on that one. So people understand that. Number 8 will come after number 10. That's the appointments. We're doing some modifications to the commissions potentially. Like the city attorney said, it makes sense to do 8 after 10, so.
Just to be clear, after item number 12.
Number
So
12, very good, which is after 10. Right, so let's move on to number 6. I see everybody's chomping at the bit. I think logic is, right now you have Vega or Ball are next in line for appointment of Mayor Pro Tem for the year 2025. Yeah, somebody's got to chomp at the bit here. Do either one of you guys want to argue for yourselves, or? You want it? All right. So Councilmember Vega has said he would take a first on his own.
I second that.
You second? All right, let's go ahead and vote. All right, Councilmember Vega for Mayor Pro Tem.
Bridge made a motion and we're waiting for a second.
Ball got a second. There we go. Good? Vote. There we go. 5-0 again. Congratulations.
So can I ask a clarification before we go on?
Sure.
If I want to make a motion right now, am I able to do that?
I have to push a button that says set next vote, and it's me
So
on
how
the
can we
delay.
ever make a motion out of order?
I could just put it on there.
Raise your hand.
Just raise
again.
their hand with this
There we go.
high-tech thing?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
It resets every time.
Yeah, because it wasn't there.
It's me, I'm sorry.
all right, you're doing great, Shannon. All right, so let's move on to appointments, council member appointments to external agencies. You guys ready for that one? Yeah? You got your list all set up? Well, let's go down the list and see where we go. Maybe we can make this all in one solid motion as opposed to 16 of them, right? Are you good, Councilmember Ball, with Come Unify?
I am. Happy to continue to serve.
Okay. Chamber of Commerce, do you want to change that one, Councilmember Starbuck, or you?
I was just kind of curious, Mr. Bridge had contacted me about possibly wanting to take that position.
Take that.
Right. Okay, here's a good one. Who's looking for NCPA and Tank? Councilmember Ball, you are the current alternate. Did you want to
Yeah,
advance to the next level?
I don't think I have capacity to go to the top,
Okay.
but if you've got the time, maybe.
What's that?
You want to take the lead on it?
Well, I'm looking at a couple others. Councilmember Bridge?
Yeah, sure. Yep.
That'd be right up your alley.
Councilmember Bridge,
Yes, ma'am.
can you make sure when you speak, you use your mic?
Oh, I apologize.
So we have it on record. Thank you so much.
There we go.
I apologize.
You want to put that on the other side of you, maybe?
That one there.
You come closer to me, I won't bite you. Yep. All right, then we're going to need an alternate. Are you still with Councilmember Ball as alternate?
Unless somebody else wants to take it. But
Okay. And I assume staff is staying the same? Okay. Yes, sir. Okay. All right, APCD,
Mosby?
okay. Who wants to be alternate? Starbuck.
No, the Mayor Pro Tem Vega.
I thought I heard somebody say
Voted
Starbuck.
great. You're hearing things.
You want to be alternate, Councilmember Vega?
Is that a no?
That was a slow, long no. Come on now.
I heard
Come on,
him say-
Starbuck, you can do it.
I heard him say yes.
I don't get sick very often. You sure you don't want to do it? Yes, you do.
You don't get sick.
You did it a long time ago.
I know they don't like me.
This probably changed by then.
Yeah, it's probably changed.
Are you
then.
good?
I'll be an alternate, but
Okay.
if you're not on death's bed,
Okay. SB CAG.
Mosby,
We know you want that.
Starbuck for an alternate.
they don't like me.
Starbuck for an alternate.
I hate you.
All right, we're having fun. Should we keep going, or you guys want to vote on that page? You want to keep going?
Yeah, keep going.
We good? Councilmember Vol, keep going? Okay.
Just get it over.
Breeze. Councilmember Vega currently on the Breeze.
Yes.
Okay, man.
Need an
Multi-jurisdictional solid waste task group.
Yes, I'll.
Starbucks stays. Who's going to be our alternate?
I'll do alternate.
Bridge is alternate. Home for Good. Councilmember Bowl? Are you home for good still?
Sure. Are you,
Okay.
am I looking at the same one you are?
What's that?
Number 8.
Number 8, I
Number
have is
8.
I have the western area. Am I looking at the wrong one?
Number 9 is Western area. You want number 8?
Which,
Home for Good still?
that's fine.
Okay,
And then the next one, I'm happy to stay on as well.
okay. And Victor Vega, are you going to be the alternate for Home for Good?
Home for good?
Yes. You currently are.
Okay.
Okay. Man, it's a twist very hard. Oh, man, we have to arm wrestle on this one. Central Coast Commission for Senior Citizens Area Agency on Aging. Currently, Councilmember Starbuck's on. Are we going to?
Well, that's almost Bridge. He's the oldest now.
What do you got? He's
I'll
got
do
a
it.
bunch
I'll do it.
already. You-
Yeah, I'll do it.
You keep it. You keep it.
Yeah, I know. He'll probably outlive me, right?
Probably.
California Municipal Utilities Association Legislative Committee. That probably should stay within CPA. Councilmember Ball, you were the alternate before. Did you go to any of those meetings? Nope. Okay. I would think Bridge needs to be on that one. Meets
Sounds-
once every 2 months by conference call. You good with that? Guys are all just jumping up and down. And Councilmember Ball, you good as alternate?
That sounds good.
Good job. Santa Barbara City Selection Committee. Would be me. Anybody opposed to the mayor taking that one?
You have to take that one.
Or the Lompoc Community Benefit Foundation? You guys opposed to me taking that one?
Yeah, take it all.
You've got, boy, we're gonna get through here fast. Turning and burning. Let's see, one more page. Do we have one more page?
No, that's 2025. I made a motion.
My goodness. We're there. We're that quick, right? Did I miss any of the staff members? The staff members are all still on as normal, correct? That's a head nod, yes. I just want to make sure that we got everything together. Does it look like we have everything done? You want to take which one too? You want to take it some more?
I didn't hear you said.
Do you want to sub in for more of these two?
No, we're fine. Yeah.
Okay. Did we get them all, city clerk? We got them? All right. So we're looking for a motion now.
I made it, and it's been seconded by
Okay, all right, we
Councilmember
got,
Ball.
we already had it. Starbuck vote for vote.
We can't make a motion.
You guys are quick. I'm gonna get this bingo set figured out yet. Another 5-0-0-0-0. Good job. We got everything you need, city clerk? All right.
State on the record who made the motion in the second.
Oh, okay. State on the record. Clerk, can you read that one in for me?
Starbucks made the motion and Ball seconded.
There we go. Can we do verbals too? What? Since our buttons don't work. You guys are having too much fun. All right. Next. Number 9. So number 9, adoption of resolution 6729, parentheses 25, assessing costs incurred by city's abatement of public nuisance at 438 South J Street and 215 West Locust. You're up.
Thank you, Mayor, City Attorney. 438 South J Street and 215 West Locust are the two addresses that we're dealing with in this item. They are two homes. They're both on the same parcel. Those two homes were in a condition of severe and significant health and safety violations attributed to unpermitted construction and modifications to the dwellings, lack of water and electricity services, unpermitted living spaces on each property, to the extent that after several months of attempting to working with the property owner to get the property back into code compliance, and that was unsuccessful, the building department decided to post red tags on these two structures. That means that it is legally prohibited for any person to enter and occupy the structures because they're unsafe for human occupancy. I have a PowerPoint that I forgot to take the clicker. Okay. Thank you. So this is a list of some of the violations that were on this property, and I have some photos after this. But at 438 South J, there were illegal kitchens, boarded up hallway openings, multiple extension cords running from all rooms connected together. One property, 438 South J property, was running extension cords for electricity from the 215 West Locust address. Through walls and ceilings and windows and doors, no smoke detection or carbon monoxide detection in the entire dwelling. Windows and doors were blocked or boarded, multiple electrical and mechanical violations. There was a disabled woman in a wheelchair residing in an illegally converted back area using extension cords for power, with only a narrow ramp on the side exterior for exiting. Unpermitted construction, additional sleeping rooms were created. The residence was unsanitary, and there were evidence that children were residing at the property in the middle of all of those violations. 215 West Locust, also illegal kitchens, no smoke detection or carbon monoxide detectors, substantial blocked egress throughout the structure, extension cords hooked into this structure from the 438 South J structure, unpermitted construction, including garage conversion, electrical and mechanical violations, illegal garage conversions, where there was at least one family of 5, including 3 children, also unsanitary residents, and there were children and infants, evidence that they were living at this property. There were sheds converted into living spaces between the two main houses, with bunk beds, microwave, and refrigerator. There was cardboard in the sheds, nailed up and used as walls, with multiple extension cords running throughout, including buried within the sheetrock or the drywall, and with blocked windows and egress. Inoperable RVs with extension cords and raw sewage underneath the RV and leaking into the soil. So for all these reasons, a building official decided to red tag these properties, make them unlawful for human occupancy. For weeks, maybe months after the red tags were posted, the structures continued to be occupied and persons continued to be living in there and entering in and out. There are some photos of the violations here too. This is the lack of smoke detection and some blocked window egress, electrical and mechanical violations, use of generators for power. It's kind of hard to see. unpermitted construction, illegal kitchens, just substandard construction. You can also see there evidence of it being unsanitary, multiple uses and instances of extension cords, very unsafe electrical in both of these structures, unsanitary conditions, and evidence that children were residing in both of the houses. These are the postings of the red tags from the building officials saying that the buildings are unlawful to enter or occupy because they're unsafe. It is a crime to occupy or enter a building that's posted as a red tag. On September 17th, 2024, the city issued a notice and order to abate to the owners, which basically said that if you do not correct these violations, then the city is going to come in and correct them for you, and you will be assessed, property owner, the costs of the city having to do that. We issued that notice to the property owner. The violations continued, and on October 25th, the city attorney's office applied for inspection and abatement warrant with the court. That was approved. So on October 30th, the city, as well as the Lompoc Police Department, with a contractor, entered the property pursuant to the warrant. The Lompoc Police Department removed the occupants that were residing or were occupying the property, and the city boarded up the doors and windows and erected safety fencing around the dwellings so that to the extent possible, no one can re-enter the properties. All of that attorney legal work and city staff costs for noticing and the cost of actually doing the abatement totaled to $35,000 in the cost of doing the abatement and $12,000 in legal fees, for a total cost of $47,314. That amount can now be placed on the property owner's property tax rolls if the city council approves that amount tonight. You do have the authority, so an itemized list of those costs is attached to the resolution that's in the agenda packet. You do have the authority to reduce or not charge some of those costs if you would like to, or not charge any of those costs if you would like to. But the staff recommendation is to approve the list of costs that will then be put on the property tax bill for the property owner. And the city will recover those costs. That concludes the staff report. It is a public hearing, so you need to take public comment after the staff report, unless you have any questions.
Any questions?
Thank you.
Public comment? No public comment? Got to be somebody. All right. We'll close public comment then. Bring it back to council.
I make a motion, we approve it.
Yeah, I'm going to hit the second button. Nobody deserves to live next door to that.
So can I ask a question before we
Yeah, go ahead. Yes.
answer that real quick? So I'm just curious because I haven't faced this situation before. Say we approve this and the city goes in, and correct me if I'm wrong, the city goes in and does some sort of abatement work, fixes the place, gets rid of the issues. The house then goes back to who?
So first of all, I apologize if I wasn't clear about this,
No, I
but
could have
the city
misunderstood.
has already done the work.
Okay.
And the costs that are in your packet are the costs of the work that's already been done. So we're just approving it afterwards. And then the second part of your question was?
Let me rephrase it maybe with that update. Is there anything preventing this property falling back into this condition over the next couple of years?
I don't want to get too much into the code enforcement case, but we have consent of the property owner to continue entering and boarding up if those board ups are removed or broken and there are people going back into the property. So we are continuing to do that.
And just one other question, because I'm concerned about, anytime there's an unpermitted structure or children living in there, how often are we looking, checking to make sure that there's not children again living in unsafe conditions there or elsewhere in the future?
I'd need to throw that over to building or police. If you have an answer to that. Matt Wyatt, the building official.
Good evening, Mayor, council members.
You got to stay close, you got the short mic, so you got to scoot up on it a little bit.
I have a timid voice.
Yeah, all right.
I can speak for the building and code enforcement. We do periodic, at least twice a week, we will drive by. I know Lompoc PD has enhanced their driving of the property. I won't speak for PD, obviously, Chief can speak for them. As recent as this afternoon, we found another breach in the property. So it was boarded again today. So we're monitoring this multiple times a week.
Thank you for that. And I appreciate that. Obviously, whatever we have to do to continue that oversight. I've heard from many neighbors, people that have lived around the corner and have seen this issue here for many months, if not years. So I just appreciate the city being on top of this as much as we can. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So let's go ahead and call for the vote. We have a first by Bridge and a second by Starbucks, so go ahead and vote. And another 5-0-0-0-0-0. So number 10.
Yes, Mayor, item number 10 is the one that we announced earlier that staff was requesting be continued to January 21st. So I would ask that someone make a motion to do that.
Looking for a motion for continuing.
I'd like to ask a question before we actually vote.
Okay. Councilmember Bridge.
I understand you want to pull this, and I'm in favor of that. Can we modify it at this point, or should we wait till the directors?
Do you mean modify some of the changes that are being made to the zoning code or the general plan?
Or add?
I think that needs to wait until after the public hearing, so it'd have to be at the next,
Okay.
the continued item.
Okay, I have one other question. When it comes back, will this be one of the 4 that we're allowed?
Oh, for the general plan amendment? Yes, it will be.
All right, thank you.
I'll make a motion that we postpone it till the next meeting.
Second.
Okay, we got a Vega ball. First, second. Go ahead, vote. Five zero zero zero. Right. Number 11. Revision to the appointment method for city commissions. Introduction ordinance 171625 and potentially adopting resolution 673125, removing the requirement that commissioners be appointed by district. City Attorney, you're up.
Thank you, Mayor. This item is a council request from the last meeting. In December 2020 and January 21, the city council changed the way that appointments are made to our commissions, to our city commissions, to require that people who are appointed to the commissions be from the election district of the council member that appoints them. And then for the mayor, continues to appoint commissioners at large from anywhere in the city. At the last council meeting, council requested to bring back this item to consider removing that district residence requirement to basically go back to how it was before December 2020, when each council member's appointee could be from any district, could be from anywhere in the city as long as they reside within the city limits. And then there are a few commissions that allow people outside city limits. So that's pretty simple. There is a resolution and an ordinance that would remove the district residence requirement. And if that is adopted by council tonight, we will bring back that change to the city commission's handbook when we bring back the rest of the changes to the commission's handbook that you're going to make at the next agenda item. Also, the change to the Human Services and Public Safety Commission would be effective immediately because they don't require an ordinance. But the change to the Beautification, Parks and Recreation Commission, Planning Commission, and Utility Commission requires an ordinance that would be introduced tonight, but it doesn't take effect until about 6 weeks. Any appointments that you make tonight to the Beautification, Parks and Recreation, Planning Commission, or Utility Commission will be with the caveat that the appointment doesn't become effective until this ordinance is effective in about 6 weeks. And that concludes the staff report.
Questions from council?
Jeff, that would, if somebody is already put in for a commission, but they already sit on a commission, that wouldn't be true. They would continue on that commission already.
That's right.
Okay.
This does not create any vacancies. Yeah.
And would that affect, that wouldn't affect somebody who was already appointing from their district? Even if we made the change, if we already comply with the existing current ordinance, then it wouldn't affect it?
They would just stay.
Or if it was a new appointment, it wouldn't affect it?
If it's a new appointment, it would not affect.
Okay.
Yeah.
That way we can keep, because we definitely have to have the planning commission moving forward, so. No, Councilmember Ball.
Just to clarify, so if I currently have a sitting commission member on the Parks and Rec and Beautification, can they both be a part of this conjoined as is?
Oh, if you currently have a sitting commissioner on both Parks and Rec and Beautification.
That's the next one. This
Those
is
are-
about, this is,
Yeah, that's
That's-
actually
that's
the
later
next-
on.
the next item. This is
That's
just
not what I
dealing with the district removal.
Got it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
any more questions for the city attorney? All right. Public comment. Should make you guys yell at least so everybody knows there's people out here. We can clap too now. You guys, that felt good, didn't it, a little while ago to clap? I think we can bring back a little bit of that, don't we? Just a little bit? Okay. All right, so no public comment, no phone calls. We'll close public comment. All right. Do anybody want to deliberate about this first? Does anybody want to do
I
any
make a
discussion?
motion that we approve staff's
Let me get
recommendation.
Councilmember Ball first.
No, I'll just say, I've gone through a 4-year conversion here. I think when I first started out, there was good intentions for having people representing the districts as much as possible. And I think over time, I've learned, I know all of council probably agrees that it has been in some cases difficult to find people to step up from different parts of the community. And I'm excited that we might be able to draw from other parts of the community. There are people that do want to serve, so I think I've come full circle on this, yeah. I support
Agree.
it, so, second.
So we have a first by Bridge and a second by Ball. Go ahead and vote. That passes unanimously, 5-0-0-0-0.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I have a question here.
Councilor Vega.
The motion that we just passed for clarification, is it clear what we just did for the public so they can understand? What we did is we expanded the amount of people that can actually serve on those particular commissions. I think it would be prudent if somebody would explain that a little more clear for the public, because I think that there are people out there that would love to serve on a commission, but they might not have heard it the way it should be heard.
All right, so I'll try to wrap it up real close on that. What it is where it was limitations before that you could only appoint via your district, and you couldn't go out through the city at large. You now can do that as a council member. You can now reach out to any volunteers who want to step up to join all these committees and commissions. So let's get all those seats filled up, right?
So the other clarity would be that anybody that was serving out of district that's currently a commissioner, they can possibly turn into a permanent appointment,
Correct,
correct?
correct. We good? Head nod from the city attorney. Okay. Moving right along. So, number 12. This is the revisions to the handbook for commissions, committees, board members, including general function, membership meetings, and establishment removal or consolidation of commissions. Mr. City Attorney.
Thank you again, Mayor. Item number 12 is another council request from the last meeting. We have a handbook for commissions, committees, and board members that sets out procedures and structure and rules and meeting schedules for each of our city commissions, committees, and boards. On November 19th, 2024, so just a few months ago, City Council adopted various revisions to that handbook to change some of the general functions of commissions, the number of members of some of the commissions, the meeting schedule of some of the commissions, and also decided to consolidate the Beautification and Appearance Commission with the Parks and Recreation Commission to turn it into one commission that is now named the Beautification and Parks and Recreation Commission. On December 17th, the last city council meeting, council requested an agenda item to bring that back and to reconsider all those changes that were made to the commission's handbook and also discuss any other changes that this city council might want to the commission's handbook. So that's what this item is. The staff report contains a brief summary of all the changes that were made in November that you said you wanted to reconsider tonight. That's on pages 2 and 3 of the staff report. And the red line of the precise, exact textual changes that were made is attached to the staff report. And there are page numbers so that if council is giving direction tonight on what changes you want to keep, what changes you want to change back to how it used to be, you can refer to the page number that you're talking about there so that everybody's on the same page, no pun intended. Finally, there is a recommendation to add a rule to the handbook from the city manager and the police chief that would make anyone ineligible for appointment to any commission if they have a record of any felony conviction. And there are already certain state laws that prohibit someone from holding a public office for certain crimes like bribery, perjury, forgery, those types of crimes. But the consideration tonight is to add any record of any felony conviction to that would make a resident of Lompoc ineligible for commission service. And that concludes my summary of the staff report. I think after public comment tonight, staff is just looking for direction. There's not a staff recommendation. We just want to take direction from the council tonight about what changes you want to the handbook, and then we're going to bring back at a later meeting, probably the next meeting, the actual revisions for adoption. Questions?
Any questions? We've got a little bit of work ahead of us. Okay. You guys ready? No questions for the city attorney? All right.
If no questions, then you can take public comment.
Public comments coming up. They're lining up already. Okay. Phone calls? All right. We'll close public comment then. All right. How would you guys, any idea how you want to do this?
Well, I have a couple
Got some easy ones?
I don't know if they're easy, but, and I'm not sure this is the appropriate document, but I can ask. When I was looking through this, I expected to see the Nonprofit Benefit Corporation and the VCC in some way or shape identified as commissions or whatever we're calling these committees, boards. Those are two functional elements that I believe we participate in with at some level. So I'd like to see that added if we could.
City manager, you got to,
Can you turn my mic on? Am I on? 2. Okay. The VCC is just like any other department in the city. We're scheduling to hire a part-time person to oversee that, and it wouldn't be a commission or committee. It's just a group to work with the base and listen to their concerns, and also a voice going the other way for all the local communities and cities around it. It's not a form like a commission. It's more like a form like something that would be inside the city departments.
So it's a department?
It'd be under admin. It's under my department. And I would hire a person. We haven't hired that person. We haven't done a recruitment. But it would be an employee of the city, a part-time employee of the city that would actually be
Is there another document I would go to that I would read how that department or sub-department
There's an
functions?
MOU that we passed December 3rd.
Say that again, please?
There is an MOU that was passed on the December 3rd meeting.
I know, but these documents, not only for the commission, but for myself, there's various documents we've handed out to review. Which one of those documents do I go to find out what's been implemented in some memorandum in some previous meeting?
There's nothing established yet. We haven't even started yet. We're still trying to get consensus of the group that's part of the consortium. But it's just basically a defense alliance. It's just a group to support the base, and it has no action.
so what we have tonight is basically the standard old school committees and commissions that we have on there. They're in your book, but we can, maybe you can meet with the city manager on the other documents you're looking at, and he can get you
Okay.
those. But what we have here are the,
And do we have a membership in the Benefits Corporation?
The VCC, we are,
The board or the,
oh,
I mean, it doesn't, you can take this back under advisement. That's what we're doing tonight is advising, right? And so I expected to see something on those two. If not in this document, guide me to the document where I'd be able to see that. Then the next item I have is Public Safety Commission. I think we had some communications on that, actually. But I know there's been a lot of dissatisfaction with the participation, probably on both sides of that table. And I think we need to figure out how we fix that. And if that's, we go back to monthly meetings and provide some training for the commissioners that are placed on that board. Somehow we need to improve that because during my campaign, I heard about that a lot. And so I'd like to see some clarity on that. I'd like to see it go back to a monthly meeting and perhaps a plan that would establish what the expectations from the police department were and the commission, and see if we can get some commonality and get everybody working together on that.
all right, so let me go ahead and take a little lead on that one then. I think
Sure.
as the Public Safety Commission, meeting monthly on the third Wednesday. I think that as well as that it should be meeting here in the chambers. And if they have recommendations further on down the line, then they could do that. Again, if they don't have the quorum, then they don't meet monthly. I know in the past, the monthly meetings were doing well. A lot of the public maybe didn't attend, but a lot of the public didn't know they were here. But I did have them, especially with a lot of the things we see happening right now. I think that we should take that back to a monthly meeting, and scratch out the dark section that's in here on page 36 that says, or at other notice location within the city. And leaving the fact, and then scratch out the dark underlined section that says city manager, police chief, or fire chief. So in other words, the meetings may be called by the chairperson of the commission or by majority of the members, much as it was before.
Mayor, Chief Martin. A little history here is that, I've been now as a captain and as your chief, been participating in these meetings for many years. And we've tried to adapt and adjust the schedule, and previous commissions have made recommendations to try to get more public engagement in the meetings. And as a reminder for anyone that's not aware, the Public Safety Commission it's a tool to communicate between your public safety departments, the police and fire, and the council and the community. So historically, even when we were in the monthly meetings, we'd have maybe 1 or 2 people show up for those meetings. Those meetings are posted on our website. They're posted here at the city. There's access to the schedule and when we were having those. And we still were not getting the engagement that we would want. So when we were speaking about this, the fire chief and I, we thought to get the public more involved, the way we've been doing for the last 6 to 8 years just wasn't working, and we needed to take that out now to the community. Because it's about the community, it's not about us. And we were trying to engage more with them. Now, when we recommended this change, it was not to be into forever. It was to see how the engagement worked with the community if we took it to them. So the idea was quarterly to each one of your districts, so that your district and the people in that district could come to us and could hear directly from the fire chief and the police chief. And that was why we made the recommendation that we did. And we felt like that was the best way to now try and get more engagement in the community, because in the last 6 years, there just hasn't been any.
Okay, so when I first got on council 10 years ago, actually the Public Safety Commission meeting would alternate, but it was upstairs at the police station. How you could get there, I have no idea. You had to knock on a door, you had to try to find it. And then they'd alternate out to the fire department. And it was in the back room of the fire station somewhere. Good luck people trying to find it.
That's not what we're recommending. We're actually thinking we could take it to the middle school, we could take it to the high school, we could take it to one of the hotels.
So we've been approximately 2 years now with basically no meetings at the Public Safety Commission. You've had little on agenda. I think you've had 2 people show up getting quorums and everything.
Correct.
If you work with me here, let's try this on a monthly. Let's see what happens. And if you could give the recommendation to the new commission that we try to get all 5, hopefully we can get 5 people for you to work with. And at any time, bring back the recommendation for the change to there. But we need to get 5 people to find commissioners to find City Hall. Another concern we have to worry about is they must be ADA compliant wherever the meetings are. I highly question whether the back room of the fire station was ADA requirement at all.
And we're not recommending that at all. We're actually saying a public place like the school. And to remind everybody, that's what we've been doing. I mean, the only thing that's changed is the frequency of the meeting. They've been here the whole time. We're just not getting the public involved. And I would recommend to the council that we give this a try, that let us go out to the community. If it doesn't work, happy to bring it back.
Okay, let me make my recommendation to do that and to get the commission, and you guys want to bring it back, or maybe we add something in there that the commissioners, we can add that, can use a qualified other area for their meeting, other location. That would give you that opportunity to do that. That allows you them to go to somewhere else that you might want to go with the meeting. So add that in there as well. So they're meeting monthly. They would be meeting in the council chamber or other approved location approved by the commission, which would allow you to do that. And let's see how it works with getting 5 people here and getting you work with that. And let's see. In the last 4 years, almost none of the commissions have worked in the last 4 years. No matter how good, you could have had free food and everything else and people weren't going to make it.
Yeah, we've had the meetings, we've engaged with them, the public just isn't, and again, I go back to it, I just don't think it's going to work. It's up to the council, but we've tried everything else.
Let me put that motion forward there. Maybe we should just do one commission. Is it okay if I hit all these changes at one time? Can you get all those, or should we get one commission at a time? What's the rest of the council think? Do you guys have other things that you would like to add or delete to that? Is that worth giving it a try?
I mean, I have a couple of thoughts, but I don't want to.
The only comment I have is I think it's legitimate that our commissioners are not, I'm trying to avoid the echo. I don't know if anybody else can hear it. I have a hard time, for example, hearing what he was saying because of the echo that occurs in here. So that's why I keep trying to move it away a little bit. Not to lose my train of thought, that I can speak for when I came on the Planning Commission, I can speak for when I came on the Parks and Recs. And you come there like you're supposed to know what to do. And so I really think we need to think about initiating some kind of training or educational element, so when the public safety folks arrive, they know what their expectations are, or the Planning Commission. And so they're not walking into it cold, and then depending on the personalities, whoever's the strongest voice in the room kind of drives what the goals are, and I'm not always sure those are the appropriate goals for the commission. So I'm not sure how to put that in this document or if it even belongs, but I really think we're failing as a council to implement something that solves that piece of this problem.
Let's work on that after we try to get this done on a commission training. Maybe somebody can go through that and get a head nod. So maybe we can make a motion at the end of everything for a training as such. Okay, Councilmember Ball, you had some suggestions?
Just with all respect, I guess my perspective on this, I still lean towards, look, I mean, police chiefs, fire chiefs, they sat here, they made a recommendation that council's maybe choosing to disregard. It is council's purview on that, I get it. But I would just ask that maybe there's some sort of accountability. If you want to have more frequent meetings, that's fine, but what are we measuring? Are we gaining efficiency there? Are we getting people to show up, and are we moving a needle towards something? Otherwise, if it goes the way it's gone in the past, we have 12 attempts at monthly meetings, we hit quorum maybe half the time, and we still have the same issue here. So I'm willing to, whatever the majority wants to do, and that's fine, but I would just suggest that just trying something without some sort of measurement or accountability isn't really going to change anything than what we've experienced up to this point. My 2 cents.
Well, I think it's worth giving it a try, that we have the monthlies. I'm willing to allow them to go to other locations for their meetings. At the recommendation, they can discuss and determine whether their other place wants to go. Let's see how it comes back. Come back with us. We can change it 6 months from now.
Yeah.
Maybe with a 6-month review of this and see what it works. I just know that if you're meeting, as this says, 3 times a year, you have no continuity. And that's, even if they're only meeting for a half an hour and an hour, at least you have continuity, so people even know each other's names. I was a county park commissioner for 8 years. I went all over the county for those locations. We used to have 2 places we met. It was actually my recommendation that we come to Lompoc twice a year, and spread out. So I can understand the benefit, as the police chief said. So let's try to get them in one room so you can communicate with that, and let's try to get 5 people. I think there's only 2 on there right now. 1?
Yeah.
So let's just try to get some people on board, and then you can, they can come forward with some recommendations in 6 months, and we'll see how it works out. And maybe we're going
Mr. Mayor, I have
to, as
a
it works.
question.
Yes, Councilmember Vega.
One of the issues I think could be is maybe it's a shortfall on the council's part also, because some of these commissions are actually, they're very, very important. They're all important, but they have a different impact. And maybe it's us, when we do our application process and our interview process, that probably should sit there and interview our candidates a little bit more thorough to make sure that they're engaged and they can actually make a meeting and they don't have some other issues, because I think it's a waste of everyone's time if they can't make the meetings and we didn't ask them to begin with, hey, can you do this, this, and this? I think that's just making sure they're good candidates, just like with everybody else. So I think the orientation could begin with us picking more engaged people that would actually care about the town and actually are not just doing it because someone else did it or for a political reason, because it is a first step sometimes. So for me, it's more important to have somebody that's engaged, so we can get somebody that's actually going to help us and be an extension of council, but also, it's also going to be someone that's going to feel like there's value there to their time, because they have families and kids and whatever. So by meeting quarterly or every 6 months, I don't think they feel that value. I don't think they feel like they're part of the club, to be honest with you. But I think it starts probably with us, and I'd be willing to say, I probably should do a better job interviewing for anybody that comes in. Even if we choose them and appoint them, we should meet with them shortly afterwards to make sure that they can do this, even if they're just applying. We need to do our due diligence so that everyone's time is not wasted, so that we do have an impact, and so we can get people to bring other people to come to these meetings, because it's no fun if we're just there with commissioners and there's one person in the audience. We're not getting a true sense of what the community wants. So that's my 2 cents. I think it falls on us so that we can make it more valuable for public safety, staff time, and all of us. Nobody wants to waste their time. I don't think that any of these commissions that are here that can't develop a quorum shouldn't even have them, to be honest with you. To be honest, if we can't get someone to come in, they're not valuable enough for us to be over here dancing and trying to force people and beg people. When I joined and I was on Public Safety Commission, it was an honor. I was very proud to be dealing with the caliber of people that you deal with in the police and the fire department that are actually empowered with protecting our safety. So I was always proud to meet with these people because they're quality people. And you're here to make sure that Lompoc gets better. They don't know exactly what to do. Sometimes with council, we're not telling them exactly, giving them enough direction. And then it falls on the police chief and the fire chief, and they're wondering, why do we meet when we can't even get a quorum? So they'd rather be home. I'd rather be home probably too. So thank you, that's my 2 cents.
I agree.
So I didn't hear the answer. Are we voting on these each individually, or are we doing it all one at the end, or are we just giving guidance?
That's up to the council. I think it would be an orderly way to do it would be each commission individually.
Right. I agree. So Public Safety Commission, anybody, you got any other 2 bits? So it's a little bit of a simple changes, monthly, and then the option of them to be here, and then the option for them to meet somewhere else in a qualified setting. Okay? Right?
Concurrence or making a motion?
I'm looking for a motion.
I'll make a motion.
There's a motion on that one. I got a Bridge Starbuck vote.
All right, I'll continue the Utility Commission. I would also like to see.
Did everybody get in there yet? Bridge, your button? Yes button. Vega, there we go, voted.
I pushed that button 3 times.
How did we go? With a no on a ball of 4-1. Councilmember Ball opposing. All right. Let's do an easy one. Let's do the Library Commission. How about that? You guys okay with the library commission? Keep with what we got here? That's 2 in the outside areas, basically what it was. Everything good? We got a ball with the first? Seconded by Bridge. Go ahead and vote.
This is just to keep it how it is, right? Okay.
Yep. We're pushing the easy button. All right, that's 5-0-0.
Just another reminder, council members, when you make your motion, it's important to verbalize it into the mic so that we get it for record.
Okay, Human Service Commission. Yeah, we're going backwards, then we go forwards.
I'll make the motion.
Do you have any discussion first? Anybody have a discussion? What is your motion? Do you have a discussion on your motion? Do you have anything, Councilmember Ball?
Nope, just go with as is or staff recommendation.
I'll second the motion to continue as is.
Before we take the vote, I just had one question on it.
Well, wait a second, I got to do this properly. I second the motion to have the Human Services Committee as written, stay as written. I'll learn this sooner or later.
Do you have a question, Councilmember Starbuck?
Yes. Oh, the echoes. It says 2 are appointed at large and nominated by any council member. I'm not sure how we intend to do that later, or why it's going to be 2. I guess my root cause on that is personal, is I have 2 good people on these commissions, and I can only make 1 appointment.
Where are you looking?
At Beautification and Appearance Commission.
We're on Human Service.
Oh, what the heck am I doing?
Reel you back in.
Council
Well, I
meeting.
think it's a legitimate question because we're going to
We'll
run
we'll
into
get, we'll get there in a minute. Let's just stay with Human Service Commission where we are here. Any other questions on the Human Service Commission? No, we have a first and a second. Go ahead and vote.
Wait.
That was no changes. That was
No changes.
no
to
changes other than anything that had to do with districting that we already
Right.
straightened out.
Right.
That's,
Yeah, just to be clear for this entire item, we've already made the changes to districting, so.
Right.
That's going to be changed already.
correct? Correct? Yes.
I'm not sure what you're asking me to correct that.
The districting component. We're making the changes, but we already approved that.
But I think what we were referencing earlier, while you're correct, it doesn't apply just to the human services. We have said that we can nominate out of any district, but we also have listed, I think, in various commissions, this at-large. And the only at-larges before were the mayors, but the implication, if you have 2 or 3 at-larges in a particular commission, I think the question is, can any of us nominate to the at-large? That's kind of what I heard or
Okay.
thought.
Well, we'll get to that one here in a second. We'll go to that next. Let's go ahead and vote on this. Okay. 5-0-0. All right. Do another easy one, the Planning Commission. There really weren't any changes to the Planning Commission other than we're at the at-large component, correct? Anybody have
Yes, that's
questions
correct.
about Planning Commission? We good? Got a motion to approve by Councilmember Ball to keep it as is. We've got a second
I'll
by
second.
Councilmember Vega. Go ahead and vote. And that passes 5-0-0-0. All right. So let's go to another fun one. Let's go to the Utility Commission. So I've got some recommendations. I actually spent some time on the Utility Commission way back when. And I feel that the Utility Commission is the City of Lompoc's Public Utility Commission. You don't go to Sacramento. I think it's probably one of the most important. I mean, the city is a large part a utility with a police and fire department and some recreation. So I believe that the Utility Commission, for the most part, shall still be advisory, not a should be. And I do question whether legally we are allowed to take it out as a should. We should have kept it as a shall. I don't know if state law mandates us to have something at that level, but if even not, it's definitely, when the utility rates are being increased the way they are, I think the public should have every opportunity to come and hear about it. And I know a number of those Utility Commission meetings, we had nobody show up. But when there was a rate increase or somebody had a catastrophe somewhere, we'd put 15 or 20 people in the room. So we were there for them when needed be. I do believe it, I've got several relatively simple areas that I have recommendations for. And that is that the Utility Commission should be meeting monthly, should be meeting in these chambers. And I believe that they shall have the ability to go back to where it said shall instead of should. And let's see, there were
Mayor.
Yes.
When you're saying shall instead of should, are you talking about page 37, the very first line?
Yes.
Okay.
As well as another area down here. Let's see. I think they should be still reviewing and make recommendations concerning the biennial budget for that. You have that striked out, that they shouldn't, or struck out, that they shouldn't make recommendations. I think that should be back how it was. They should have the ability to make recommendations.
Paragraph 4.
Paragraph 4.
Okay.
And again, there's a shall that's missing. I think they shall consist of evaluation.
Okay.
And I believe the sentence of 4, that last sentence of 4 should be put back in. Which the city council shall thereafter consider at the time of adoption of the biennial budget based upon the recommendations of the commission and such other factors deemed appropriate.
Okay.
And then number 5, what's struck out, I think should be replaced. That's review and recommendations regarding the establishment and adjustment of consumer rates for water service and sewer. You can keep the broadband out because that's gone, but electrical service and solid waste service provided by the city. And you could keep in the and electrical sales when directed by the city council.
Okay.
And then the areas that are struck out in number 6, I think should be put back in. So I think the financial, and go back to number 3, I think where it said financial information, I think that unless the city manager had a reason for going from financial information from revenues and expenditures? Is there a reason why you wanted to go to the broader? No reason? So I could go back to revenues and expenditures? So down at meetings should be the monthly? And I don't have any problem with keeping the last sentence in there, allowing the city council, city manager, utility director, majority of the commission may call a meeting if they're deemed necessary. Did you guys follow that? Anything else? Councilmember Ball?
So just throwing it back there, I don't mind most of those changes. I still think that, I mean, we're going from at least trying to get 3 meetings that they barely got to doing monthly. Again, I might be in the minority here, but I think even if we did 6 a year, that would be doubling what we're doing right now. But
When I was on for years way back when, we met monthly, and we were recognized, I think, all the way for many, many years before that. I think at one time it was actually, they had a water commission, like 25 years ago. So it's been actually one of the most, you know, I don't want to say important, but it was one that they did that because it is the people's utility commission. It is their outlet to come communicate about utilities, which is, you know, tens of millions of dollars a year that we're working on. It was also aware when I got on that when we saw that rate increases were needed, that was the first area that the trigger was there that was able to advise at that level and then come. It made it a lot easier once the feeling was already out there. So people are paying their utility bills monthly, and many times people need to have that outlet to get there. So,
I don't necessarily disagree. I just say that the last, couple years ago, the Utility Commission was still just meeting 2 or 3 times a year, but they gave us advisement on the rate increases then and gave us a lot of really powerful feedback. So again, if we can be efficient and effective on a monthly basis and it helps us move forward and be better at providing service to the community, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that.
okay. Anybody else?
Well, I'm going to show my weakness here. I've kind of lost the bubble as to what's staying and what's going. So for example, is the missing 3 meetings staying or going?
So it would go to monthly?
No, this says, I'm referring to
if-
commissioners missing 3 consecutive notice meetings.
That would stay.
That would stay. So we're going to get back another copy of this with red lines on red lines with different colors, or how are we going to?
No.
There was too many changes there for me to.
What I would bring back is just a clean copy that makes all the changes that you asked for tonight.
And then we would review that and approve it or disapprove it?
Yes, if that's okay. That's what I plan to do.
Okay.
Councilmember Starbuck.
Yeah, just a quick question. How come broadband has been taken off of this? It's not an enterprise anymore?
No, it's not an enterprise anymore. It's the internal communications. It's an internal service fund.
Combined, okay.
I'm sorry, we do have a few customers, but not very many. And it's kind of been reorged. It's no longer in utilities. It's now in the management service director's IT department. Okay. And we'll probably bring that.
I know this isn't related, but at some point, I think maybe we need to go back at broadband and discuss some loans that were taken against the enterprises then, if we're deleting it and it's not an enterprise anymore. It was an enterprise-to-enterprise loan. Now we don't have that, so now we have an outstanding loan on a non-existing department. That's off subject.
I think
but-
you're bringing the AFR forward here before too long, right?
The
And that'll be in there.
loan, the loan got moved to the internal service fund. No?
Sorry. We have been discussing moving the broadband and closing that enterprise and moving everything to the internal service fund. But we have not done the final steps on that, and we will bring it to council before we do that.
I know you will.
Thanks.
All right, are we good? I'll make a motion to approve those that I put on there. City Attorney, we're good? Okay. Need a second? Oh. There, Starbuck got a second. Mosby with the first on that. All right, let's go ahead and vote. We get a 5-0-0-0-0. All right, we have the Youth Commission. Does anybody have anything in the Youth Commission? Changes?
I'll make a motion to keep it the exact same.
All right, Councilmember Balls made a motion to keep as the same. Councilmember Starbuck got a second in there. Let's go ahead and vote. And that passes 5-0-0. Right, which one did I miss? Oh, the big one.
Parks and Rec and
Parks and Rec and
beautification.
beautification. What do you guys think about Parks, Rec, and beautification? Anybody got something to start discussion?
Yeah, I'd like to know why they were combined, because I have no insight. There was some thought pattern that went on there. Can anybody tell me why they were combined? And maybe that'll help me vote.
Anybody have an answer for that? No? All right, Community Development Director.
Does Christie have an answer?
Maybe.
I think, if I can remember correctly, I think we were struggling with a quorum, first of all, for beautification. And then there was some issues with Recognition Grove and that whole process and it being under beautification, but all of the trees being in parks. And so we kind of all put our heads together and thought, well, it makes sense for it to be with Parks and Rec because there's so much overlap. And so staff from Urban Forestry would still be at the Parks and Recreation and Beautification Committee meetings. So there'd be representation from all of the departments and divisions on the staff side of the house. We just thought it would be a way of getting enough participation to cover all of the topics and still provide that level of service and receive the community input, and then also leverage some of the ideas that beautification had kind of into Parks and Recreation, since bringing, we have events, we want things to look pretty in downtown, there's just a lot of overlap. So we were thinking that might be a way of achieving that. So that was the thought behind it.
Thank you.
Did we have any feedback from commission members?
Nothing, like no one opposed it, no issues. So we haven't heard anything.
Okay.
I don't know if we've gotten reapplications from everybody yet because the council members changed and things like that. I don't know if they were just waiting, but we did get some Parks and Recreation Commission former members have reapplied, so.
I have a quick comment, and again, I
Councilmember Ball.
appreciate the thoughtfulness, and again, this is trying to thread a needle that doesn't always work. I get all that. I think one thing that I want to highlight that could be complicated, in a perfect world, we have a meeting, and we do get to quorum, but only the beautification-leaning folks showed up, and there was something really vital and critical to the future of parks. And so all the beautification folks kind of made the decision, and then the parks folks who weren't able to attend that meeting had some of, you know what I'm saying? So again, I do think there's,
Well,
depending on who's there, it's like,
The thought would be they're all parks now. They're all Parks, Recreation, and Beautification. They will all be voices and members of the community on all of those topics. They're not going to stay in their little pigeonholed area that they were in before.
Okay, I think what we had is, I know after the COVID and the 4 years, everything faded out. A lot of these, we didn't have meetings for a year or two. Back in 2020, 2021, and they reestablishing, and then with districting, it was very difficult for people to find membership and such. Going back 10 years ago, it wasn't that complicated. I remember I had a list of people wanting to be a park commissioner. And beautification, not so much, but I didn't ever have a problem. I never had a problem keeping that one full. So I think really, out of layers of simplicity, putting it back the way it was in a separate with two, and putting back the Parks and Rec side and the beautification side back the way it was, and let's try it again. We got a council coming up here. The district component away. I think we've got a lot of new tools that we can work with. That I think we can get this filled up. I did have one thing that actually some 7 years ago at council, three of us on council had asked and requested this to be added to the beautification list. One was if somebody had an issue with a sidewalk or a street, that was the commission you had the ability to go to. That's one of the things in this town, that if you have an issue, you really don't have a place to go and voice that. And in layers of simplicity, just the ability of somebody to come and do show and tell to show a street or a park issue at the beautification commission, and that can be passed on to, granted, they're not the same, right? Because Public Works is over here, and urban forestry runs beautification, right? So it's under the same, so they could,
That was kind of the point of why staff would be the same. You would have, I think in the handbook, I don't have it right in front of me, but we weren't, and I'm not vested either way. It doesn't matter. I mean, if you want two separate commissions, that's fine. But I think when we looked at putting them together, we weren't dropping anybody. We weren't going down to 5 commissioners. I think if I'm remembering correctly, it was at 7 so we would have 7 commissioners. So it was a way to pick up the beautification committee members that were actually attending and participating and pulling them into the Parks and Rec Commission. Mike and me would still be your department heads on that commission, and then our staff would be the ones in attendance. But if you want to separate them and create 2, I'm good with that too.
that's kind of my recommendation of simplicity, is put it back. Let's see how it drives, because the big driving force here is the removal of the districting. I think it'll be easier for people to get these seats filled up. Question?
Just as a suggestion, since sounds like you're open to 6 months down the road, circling back to see what's working, what's not, can we, in 6 months, look at it again? And again, if we're not having enough participation, or we need to change the format to get more buy-in?
I would add that on to my motion of recommendations, if you wanted to put that as the second. So my first is to put it back how it was, of course, without the districting, and then add, and the beautification, I'll give you.
I think you said to add that if anybody has a sidewalk or street issue, that would be covered by the Beautification Commission. They would that resident would have the opportunity to come to the Beautification Commission, give comments or input about their issue.
Exactly.
I have a couple of comments again.
Okay.
That, we have all the apps that have come in tonight. Shannon, did we have any beautification apps? I mean,
Can we get to that right after this? But if you had the question.
Well, the question is, are we going to have an empty commission? That's what I just heard Christie say, is they were having trouble filling the beautification, and now we're going to put sidewalks and road maintenance in this group?
No, just a simple reporting component. Currently, right now, it's difficult for somebody to report a sidewalk or a street issue. And when people come to me, they would say, where do I go?
They don't have a commission for sidewalks.
Right. There's nothing, it's not under utility, it's not under, so that was what we had put forward some 6, 7 years ago.
So I thought the beautification's main job was, and I'm probably going to show my ignorance here, but was like the murals and making sure that we got planters and that it was a beautiful city.
They have a lot of that. They've expressed more. I did have people wanting to apply to this as well? I don't think we're going to have difficulties filling
All
it.
right, I'll stand down.
I just want
Yes.
to, just piggyback on that. As far as I know, I mean, I'll talk to them, and they may be confused as to what's happening, but I still am pretty sure I have a beautification commissioner, and I also have a Parks and Recreation.
Right, so you're good.
Commissioner. Now, in the 6 months now that we've taken away the district, restrictions, I'm hopeful. I think we could fill up these and get people, but we got to work at it.
Okay, so that was that with the 6-month review. We good, everybody? All right, so that's my motion. Councilmember Ball, Starbuck got it.
That's right.
But anyhow, all right, we're good? All right, let's go ahead and vote. Well, oh, did you have something?
Yeah, we don't have the little lights anymore. so-
Yeah, I have one question. I'm sorry, it's a little bit late
Okay.
here, okay? I understand the separation of the commissions, okay?
Okay.
Is there no benefit to keeping the parks and beautification still together but separately, so to speak? I mean, is that odd? Because you're already doing that. I mean, to me, to make a quorum, it may be a little silly.
Well, I think
they almost could separate their meetings by agenda. One's beautification, one's parks, and then they still make a quorum. You know what I'm saying? I'm just wondering if we're going to run a little short.
I think beautification had a completely different goal than Parks and Recreation.
I agree. I mean, it was meant for attendance. Is what I understand.
Yeah, well, I think with this, like I say, we have the 6-month review
You guys
coming
can
back.
be proactive of filling the commissions. That'd be
Yeah.
great.
We can check it in 6 months.
Okay.
It's in there as well. Okay? One more? Okay.
I just
go
have
ahead.
a quick comment I wanted to make here also. Beautification is one of the commissions that's involved in the Roundup program. They have their own fund, so if they were brought in under Parks now, we would have a separate fund in a commission with dual objectives, if that made sense. I don't know how much money, I'm going to say probably a couple of $1,000s that people have donated, 20 grand, to beautification. So if it stayed segregated, it remains their money. If
Makes it
they
easier.
combine, then it becomes kind of a hassle. We've got 20 grand and you got nothing. Well, we want your 20 grand. You know what I'm saying? Just something else there.
All right, let's go ahead and call for the vote then on that. Five zero.
So, Mayor,
City Attorney, yes.
I'm assuming from that motion that so you've now split it back into two commissions, Beautification and the Parks and Rec Commission.
Yes.
You want it to go back to 5 members for each of those commissions, right?
Correct.
So basically, the text in the handbook will be the same as it used to be for both those two commissions, with the exception of districts and with the exception that you want to add sidewalk and streets to the Beautification Commission.
Correct, and then come back in 6 months.
And come back in 6 months. Okay. Got it.
Correct? Believe we got them all, right?
I think,
So based on that, for example, there was a felony thing that the police department wanted added. Since we haven't addressed that, that stays. Anything we didn't address stays.
Well, we didn't address that. That was something for us to discuss. Would you like to discuss that?
No, I was just trying to find the protocol. If we didn't discuss it,
It's
it
additional
stays.
item for consideration, so if somebody would like to bring that up, we can? No?
also, I don't think we did the mobile home rent stabilization board, and the compliance committee, and park maintenance and city pool assessment district. I also don't think we did airports. You might want to do,
Did we do airport? Oh, okay.
you might want to do those first 3 all at once, and if you don't have any
There
changes.
really weren't any changes in those, right?
No, I don't think so.
All right. So if we don't make any recommendations, we don't have to, right?
That's true.
Okay.
And then there's airport. I don't know if you want to.
Okay, so airport, I did have something with airport. Thank you for that. Anybody have anything on airport? That went from 7 members to 5 members, and 2 can live outside the city limits as long as the primary residence is within the boundaries. That was the main of the Lompoc Unified School District. That was the big change on that. Does anybody have a problem with the airport the way it is? I really had airport guys, they kind of come to you when they need something. Are we good? You guys good with the airport as it stands?
Mr. Mayor, if there aren't any changes, can't we just zip right through this, or what?
What's that?
If there aren't any changes that anybody wants, we could just...
We're okay. If we're not going to make
We're
any
only,
changes.
we're only here for the
we're done.
changes, right?
If we're not going to make a change, we're done with it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if we could
Okay.
expedite a little bit more.
All right, I think we're good. Everybody else good? All right.
Yeah, so we have direction. We'll bring back a clean copy for adoption.
All right, so then now we get to bring back number 8, correct?
Yes, and what I'd like to say first on number 8, which is the appointments item. Currently, legally, right now, we have a combined beautification and Parks and Rec commission is all one, because that change hasn't been made effective yet. And so we don't have any applications for beautification commission or for Parks and Rec commission. So I would recommend that we don't appoint anyone to beautification or Parks and Rec tonight, because those don't really exist right now, and we need to take applications for those. But for the rest of the commissions, we can make appointments tonight.
Could I get clarity on that, Mayor?
Yeah.
So do I need to reach out to, again, I've noticed some applications beginning part of December. Do I need to reach out to my committee members, tell them to reapply, start from scratch? It's now separate. Do they need to do that tomorrow, or should they wait a week or two, or what works best? So they're basically void if they're joint applications. Is that what we're saying? Okay.
So they would reapply
Just
for
put the-
whichever committee, commission, I don't know what they are, but whatever when they wanted to do, if they want to do Parks and Rec or beautification.
The only other question that I have is I want to make sure that I understand the timeline so I can put the pressure on them to get their applications in time for the next time that we discuss this in front of
I
council.
think if they submit, even if the rule isn't in effect, we have the application, they have the appropriate title of which committee or commission they want to apply to, regardless of when we receive it. We won't be bringing it back to you for appointment until after that time has passed.
Perfect, thank you.
We good?
Is it acceptable? But, for example, the Parks and Recs, I know that the 2 I have, they want Parks and Recs. Can they just send you an email saying, put it on Parks and Recs, or are we going to have?
I think it would be best that they amend their application, since it speaks specifically in the title.
Right, let's go ahead and go off the main list. Let's go to the Human Service Commission. We have 3 applicants. The one that we just got.
Okay, I have a question on point of order of this now.
Yes.
So, let's use Kaylin Barnes, who I convinced to apply,
Okay.
but she's not in District 1. Do we just,
You're okay because it'll go in effect when everything else goes into effect.
Well,
Okay.
But my point is, will that be the District 1 appointment then, no matter where they are? I'm just asking for clarification. I'm not,
It'll be yours.
it'll
That
be
would be
mine.
your appointment. So your appointment is your appointment, it's at large.
Okay. Yeah. Or I have one more that I have to ask. That happens to be my granddaughter. Is that a conflict?
That's not a conflict because there's no, I'm pretty sure there's no compensation for serving on a commission, right? Okay, so it's not a conflict.
All right.
I'm
Let's
over-
try to make all these. I'll take Lydia Perez. I convinced her. What?
I was just going to make a statement here that there are two people in District 3, and I already have District 3's appointment in place. So Angela Mulholland and Lydia Perez are available for appointment.
Right. So I'm just trying to make them all at once. You would do one with Galen. I would do Lydia. Is anybody, who else is missing an appointment? Councilmember Ball? Do you want Angela or do you want Lydia? I'll say that again. The Angela or Lydia are available if you'd like. Okay, you can take Lydia then. I'll take Angela. All right, so there's our recommendations. I'll make the motion to approve that as such. Councilmember Ball, seconded. Let's go ahead and vote. It's 5-0. All right.
So I have a question about that.
Yes, City Attorney.
So just to be clear, Councilmember Ball's appointee is Lydia Perez, and who appointed Angela Milholland? So that's the mayor's appointee?
I did Angela Milholland, yes.
Okay. And did we have an application from Lydia Perez, or is that we do? Okay, I just don't have it in my packet.
Lydia wasn't sure what was going to be available. There were 3 that she was willing to go for if everybody wanted one. So she stood up and wants to be so much on the commission. She applied for 3 different commissions.
Okay, sorry, my misunderstanding. Thank you.
But from what I understand, the human service was her number 1 priority. So, okay. Yeah, she was excited.
We're good.
For those who think there aren't people who want to apply, there's 1 who wanted 3. So let's. All right. What would you guys like to do next? What do we got
Let's just
next?
go to the next one, Planning Commission.
We're on Planning Commission.
I would like to appoint Christian Beverly, is who I recruited, even though they reside in District 3. Think so.
We're on Planning Commission, right?
Yes, Planning Commission. In the main packet that we just got not too long ago.
Christian.
Are we all good there? I would,
It's not on your, for some reason, your package doesn't have it, but it's right there.
your packet?
Sorry, but
Do you have the most recent one that they gave us?
It doesn't matter, I just wanted to know.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
So I would go with Gary Cox. Who else is missing somebody? Councilmember Ball, do you have one?
he's got 2.
So not on this list, I have somebody that I'm talking to see if they're
Okay.
interested in applying, so.
Councilmember Vega, do you have one?
For Planning Commission, I'd like to appoint Brandon Bridge,
Okay.
unless somebody took him.
No, that gives us 3 right there. So I'll make the motion. Are you good? Everybody know the direction? I'll make the motion. Seconded by Starbuck. Let's go ahead and vote. I think we have a abstain, okay. Councilmember Bridge abstains. We have 4-0-1, 1 abstention with Councilmember Bridge.
It's my son.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, it's,
People are dying to get in these things. Yeah, let's see. Okay, where are we now? I know, it's a lot of paperwork to go through. You guys, library. We're chewing through it. Library Commission, how we doing? So we have 2 at-larges and 1 at-large vacancy. 2 at-large ending in 2028 and 1 ending in 2026. We have 3 applicants. Any suggestions? Ashley?
I'll take Joe, I know Joe. He's a good-
I'd like to,
These are at-large, so, what's that?
No, I was going to say, I would love to appoint Lou Knowles,
Do you want a 2028 or 2026?
26.
You want it for a 26, okay.
That's me.
Okay.
I'd like
So-
to nominate Olivia Magana.
Who's that?
Olivia Magana, if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Is she on that one?
Am I looking at the wrong one? Are we on Library Commission? What am I looking at? This is what was on mine.
Well, why don't you read her name off for her and
Well, we got to see these.
Human Services.
Is she in the original packet or is she in the updated one?
Just whatever they gave me tonight. What am I looking at? 2 different things here. My bad.
Oh, the ones that are on the
Oh, is
front
that
here,
the different-
that's everything
My
that's in
bad.
there.
I'm sorry.
Are we okay?
I read it wrong. My bad.
Oh, okay. All right, so we have
I'll
we have
come
an
back with-
Ashley Luella and Joe Valencia, and we have a motion for Luella for 2026. So 2028, somebody would like, these are at-large, so. Okay, I'll do Joe Valencia, you got the 26 for 2028. Oh, you already did? For 2028, right? All right, so Ashley. No? Is she already on there?
For who? I'm sorry.
Then I'll do Ashley for 2028, so we expedite that. Everybody good with that? There's my motion. We good? First by Mosby, second by Bridge. Let's go ahead and vote. Vote. It's a 5-0. No, we're getting going here. So we're going to hold off on beautification and parks, correct? So we're going to hold off on that next page. And we have a lot of people signing up already.
Just a quick question. Why are we waiting on Parks and Recreation?
Yeah, because we have applications for the Beautification and Parks and Rec Commission. The combined one. And we don't know whether those people want to be on beautification or whether they want to be on Parks and Rec.
Well, I was just kind of looking at the first one here. It's beautification only. The next one is beautification and parks. But I mean, I could make my 2 appointments on this. One of them isn't on here, but I'd like to retain one. Could we do that or just wait?
Since we just created the 2 new commissions, we legally have to advertise for the positions before we do it, unfortunately.
All right, so let's go to Utility Commission then.
Well, since we've had some confusion, did Martin's application not come in on the Utility Commission? Mr. Bender? 'Cause he told me he had put it in.
Are these are all that you got?
Whatever is in the packet that I gave you earlier this evening is what we received as of today.
Okay. Well, the only reason I'm asking is some of the lists had extra names and some didn't. So I was just trying to confirm. So there's just
So the
one
only
you-
ones that have the extra names have been updated. Everything else is the same as from the packet that you received earlier this week.
Okay. All right, so we have 1 applicant as of right now. I know I had an applicant that obviously didn't get theirs in either. You're all right. I know I had 2 others that I ended up expediting, but that's all right, we're fine. Does anybody, Robert Dunlap? We have.
I have a question.
Yes.
On Utility Commission, I had tried to reappoint Bob Holloway, I was told I couldn't because he was out of my district, and I had to wait, and then he got reappointed somehow, but not for the full length of my term. With all that BS gone, can I go ahead and just take Bob Holloway right out to my term, 1226 or whatever, on this, since we've just done away with districts?
That would be okay as long as the council member who appointed Bob Holloway is okay with that. And I don't remember who that was.
No, I'm not.
Was
Not
that
okay with it.
Victor
Is
Vega?
it, did you reappoint him?
Baby.
Huh?
Be a big baby.
I'm just going to find somebody to beat you
Well,
up,
you
and then
can,
I'll...
you can, if you can have him, but
You can have him, he
I
said.
did appoint him.
No, I'm just saying, I just wanted to
Just
make
want you to
sure
know.
that we didn't lose Bob Holloway in this mass of commission
Yeah.
here.
He's still on the commission, but he is Councilmember Vega's appointee,
Yeah.
Okay.
out of district, and his term would expire October 2025. So if Councilmember Vega is okay with it, you can
Or
appoint him as
did-
yours.
I would take Robert Dunlap, but did somebody already claim him?
You got very good.
I want Robert on, but I have another guy coming.
Okay, well, perfect. I will go ahead and,
You want
Councilmember
Bob
Vega
Holloway?
will keep Mr. Holloway, and I would love to reappoint Robert Dunlap, who was one of my original appointees
All right,
before all
so
this.
that takes care, that's all we got right now. I've got, somebody who didn't get their papers in yet, so. Councilmember Ball, do you have somebody on their way with that one?
Yeah, for
good.
utility and for planning, yep.
Very good, okay. So, we have one there, so I'll make the motion, or you want to make your motion to put him on? I'll let you do that.
Motion to appoint Robert Dunlap and to move Bob Holloway out to the end of Councilmember Vega's term. Motion.
All right. You want to second that? Councilmember Ball, second. Councilmember Starbuck, the first. Let's go ahead and vote. Like video bingo at the casino, huh, Victor? All right, so Lydia Perez, the Youth Commission, but we know that she's already got appointed. You guys did a good job on there.
I have a question on the Youth Commission. I thought there was only youths left, that there were no adult slots left.
Youth spots?
At this time, I'm not sure exactly what is open and what is not open. That would be a question for Stacy when she comes back.
Okay, well, let us know, because I'll recruit, but in fact, I had somebody at one time, but when I went through the list, it appeared to me that there was only youths left to nominate, not
Yeah,
Not
I'm sorry,
adults.
do not know the answer to that.
Huh?
I'm sorry, I don't know the answer to that.
No, I understand, just let us know.
Okay.
No, I'm working my way. I was trying to see what we had here. My document here. So, who's got, you have a person on public safety, correct?
Yes, I do.
Okay. All right, so,
So I just kind of admonish the council here now. This is an indication that we're going to have a problem with public safety, right? So we need to go recruit some more guys. Am I reading that right?
no, we've got one already. There was two others that just stepped off or got offed. And we had two applicants, but only one's available because the other one picked up somewhere else.
Okay,
So it's just, we're still early in the year.
all right. Well, if Maria's open, I'll take her if nobody,
I actually got,
well, all right.
I turned in her application with her today. So I'd make a motion to put Maria Agenic on. That's my motion. And seconded by Bridge. He tried to steal her from me. All right, go ahead and vote. Mr. Funny Guy. Did you miss something? Steve, one more time.
Yeah, that's what you get for second.
All right, there we go, 5-0 vote. That concludes that, right? Anything else? Did you guys see on that? We good, Mr. City Attorney? We got a thumbs up. All right, so that takes us down to written communications. Correct?
Correct.
What do we-
We did have 2 written communications. You do have copies of those. One was emailed and the other one is on your desk.
I'm still trying to get my email account yet. I got a phone, but it doesn't work yet. All right. Oral communications. Got 2 minutes. People, come on down.
Howdy, Carl Jones. Mr. Bridge? Yes. Yeah, all the planters on the street, specifically the wine barrels in the city of Lompoc, were put there by a club that is no longer in existence, and they worked closely with the Chamber of Commerce. So basically, all the wine barrels throughout the whole city were left behind by that club. Nobody takes care of them. But originally, they were like some little garden group club that had a lot of funding. They bought the wine barrels, put them throughout the city with agreements with the city council. And then the club finally went under. Nobody takes care of them anymore. The murals, the Mural Society takes care of them. They're a nonprofit organization. They do have some murals in the city that they do not take care of, that they belong to the people that own the buildings. But the majority of the murals in the city are taken care of by the Mural Society. Just wanted to let you know. It seemed like you didn't really know. So, and then other than that, you also have
I can say thank you.
a horticultural society here in the town that helps the city take care of the drought tolerant garden, and they also take care of the botanical garden up on Allen Hancock. So those are some of the organizations that are out there that's helping to take care of city property. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else? None. Go ahead and close oral communications. Let's roll on to council comments and meeting reports. Who wants to go first? Councilmember Vega.
I'd like to thank everybody that's coming here and encourage anybody to sign up for commissions and committees right now. As you saw, that we went through a whole slew of committee and commission appointments tonight, and we'd like to have you join. So please call City Hall if you're interested. Thank you.
Councilmember Bridge.
Yeah, I have a couple items. We did have a speaker tonight who correctly said that I would not be able to weigh in on the wine tibia, for lack of it, but they are correct in that there seems to be questions being said. Essentially, it looks like heading to maybe a lawsuit, which we might want to head off in the pass, which is they're not going to, their position is the resolution that we passed, or you passed before me, or the royal we.
Councilmember Bridge, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I just want to caution that because you do have a conflict on the item, so you shouldn't say anything that would try to influence council either way. So,
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm not trying to impact the council's opinion. I'm just trying to say that this issue needs to be addressed. And I don't know how else to get it addressed other than to bring it up in this portion of the meeting. So advise me on how I get it addressed, whether I have an opinion or not.
there can be a request from from a different council member to bring back an agenda item if you want to talk about the city consenting to be part of the wine bid, the new proposal for a wine bid.
I would like to go ahead and make that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hold on a second, sir.
Next item?
So,
Oh, you need three.
No, go ahead. Well, let me hold off on you. Let me finish with Councilmember Bridge, and you can remember, okay?
Well, you better write that
Hold
down,
on,
because I'll
hold
never
on.
remember all
Give me
that.
your hand, I'll write it on for you. Okay, Councilmember Bridge.
All right, sorry. I'm learning about all the conflicts.
You're all right.
All right, so we had a general plan element that got pulled and would go forward to the next council, assuming it gets done. I'm a little concerned because we only are allowed 4 changes, and I'm told the protocol is to try to reserve a couple, which would mean if we approve the one, then we'll really only have 1 to make this year. We want to reserve for emergencies. And we've had the ad hoc committee general plan request for some time. What I'd like to see happen, if we can get agreement, is that the ad hoc committee report get reviewed, and any element that doesn't require a CEQA, or is determined to be a minimum CEQA required action, get included when this other one comes back. There was a lot of work done on that, and I just think we should handle that in one form or another. And if we have to divide it in 2 because some of the ad hoc committee recommendations, such as eliminate ag support, let's separate those out, make them a smaller issue. We can get an assessment on what that costs. But all the others that are simple changes could be incorporated in this one that's coming back, and have at least start moving that forward. And then I would like.
Councilmember
these-
Bridge?
Yes, sir. Am I out of
Is
order
that,
again?
is that the end of that council request? Can I make a comment on it?
Yeah, I'm not done with it, but yeah.
Oh, you're not done with it? Then
No,
finish.
I'd also like
Okay.
these changes brought back for consideration, and I'll hand them out. I can do that, right?
If these are additional changes that you want to make to the ad hoc's comments on the general plan?
No, to the general plan.
Oh, on the general plan, okay. Then let's wait for that until the actual agenda item. And
Yeah.
you can
Okay.
then provide your comments to the whole council at that time.
Okay.
And what I would suggest for the agenda item is it can just be a discussion item on the general plan and the ad hoc's comments, and then council can give direction on how to split them up and and staff can provide
Whatever
answers
way
to-
moves this stuff forward so it
Yeah.
doesn't sit in limbo.
We just can't make any decisions right now.
I'm not asking for any
We got to
decisions.
we got to do the agenda item and have the discussion, and then at the agenda item, the council can give the direction.
So is that the motion you'd like to make as per the city attorney's recommendation for the agendizing, the general plan?
Yes.
Okay.
If that includes bringing back the ad hoc committee's report divided by CEQA, non-CEQA, for lack of a better term.
I'm not sure that staff can do that right now without further direction from council, but we can have a discussion item about it for the council to tell staff what you would like us to do with the ad hoc comments.
Bring it back as a discussion item so that we can agendize for the next later.
Okay, well, you guys have brought this back several times as an agenda item, but let's bring it back again. And
I'll second that, but one thing about, they assured me before I left office we would review it.
Well, I'm helping.
I'll give you a second.
All right, so we just need one more person to go along with it, correct? So I'll give it a third then.
All right.
Are we good with that, the city attorney?
I have a couple more.
I am good with that, yes.
Okay, all right.
All right.
Councilmember Bridge.
It probably seems like it's been so long that I've been waiting to get up here. I'm going to get.
You're all right, fire away.
So, I would like to see the city manager on the first meeting of the month have as an attachment or a part of his report the open council issues. So, and they would include a short description, who initiated it, the date it was created, the date it's promised to come back to the council, whether that's just for review, and any notes, dated notes that, yeah, we were supposed to bring it back this time, but we lacked resources, or whatever that might be. And so I'd like to see that as a monthly attachment to
Are you referencing the council request
I
sheet?
saw that one. It didn't really detail what I'm asking for, and it doesn't, it's mixed in with all your dates and awards, and I think council actions should be a separate item that's discussed by the city manager and how we're going to complete these council actions. And if nothing more, at least we'll have visibility as to how long a council action has been open. So
you want to?
I want him to not just hand us a piece of paper, I want him to report once a month on the council actions.
Okay.
Now, maybe I won't get concurrence. I need 2 other guys to think that's a good idea. All right, I guess that dies for lack of concurrence. I don't want to hear any complaints about council actions. Okay, my last one. Our general plan says that we're supposed to have strategies to revitalize Old Town, to make it a destination. It says we're supposed to use eligible funds for infrastructure improvements to encourage redevelopment. It says we should be fast-track reviewing processes for development projects in line with those guidelines. And we should be using CDBG development block grants for projects to do this. I would like an ad hoc committee. I'll volunteer for the ad hoc committee. I'd like another council member to join me to look at how we get the theater project moving, bring all the elements together that need to be brought together, and find out how we can get the theater project help to develop Old Town. And I've listened to both sides, both staff and theater, and they're talking past each other. And so I'd like to see that ad hoc committee.
So
Yes,
to
sir.
create an ad hoc committee, it requires an agenda item. So you can ask for the future
I'm asking
agenda
for that
item.
to be brought back as an
Yeah,
agenda item.
for an agenda item for council to create the ad hoc committee. And then you can choose the 2 council members who will be on it.
Okay,
I don't know if you can, because you got conflict. But I'd second,
got a third.
and Councilmember Ball third. You might have a conflict because of properties in Old Town. Just saying. All right, so you got that to come back as an agenda
I'm done.
item. You good? Yep. City Attorney? Okay.
Rules and rules and rules.
All right, so Councilmember Ball.
Happy New Year. Nothing to report.
Oh.
Thank you, Mayor.
Councilmember Starbuck,
Yeah.
fire away. Do you
Yeah,
remember what
yeah.
that was yet?
The only thing I have is I would like to reiterate the, maybe, what was it called, the wine bid? We'd take a look at the resolution with the wine bid and find out what our conflicts are, and, yeah, absolutely, I'd like to review that.
Okay, if council wants to request that, do you also want to have the ability to take action to consent to join the current wine bid proposal?
Well, I don't want to just talk about it. When we're done, I'd like to be able to take action one way or the other on it. Yes, sir.
Very good. Thank you.
You have to have something ready for us.
It doesn't look like we're going to have to worry about that.
No, I'll give you a second on that. Does anybody want to give him a third on that one? Who can? So you got 3? Give you a third. Yeah, all right.
Will do.
In a hurry.
You told no about
All right, well, I have 7 council requests. Just kidding. All right. So, with that, we'll adjourn to, no, we're done with all that. We're adjourning to 6:30, January 21st, 2025. Oh, what you got? What's that? There's Happy New. Do you want this? We're out of here. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it.
When did you get back in town?
I'm the chairperson of the Human Services.